go over these driving. Let's go over these driving test questions right now. To limit your risk during the first 6 months of unsupervised driving, you should avoid carrying passengers in the car. If you cannot prevent a person who has been drinking from driving, you should refuse to ride in the car with them. If you have identified the driver ahead of you as being possibly drunk, the first thing you should do is maintain safe following distance. Country roads are the most dangerous roadways for young drivers. What's up, Jackson? I really appreciate you. For real, I do. Next, when do fatal crashes of young drivers occur most often? Daytime on dry roads. Next, impaired depth perception in drinking drivers causes the inability to judge distance accurately, meaning the muscles in your eyes relax. You're welcome. Next, the most dangerous time period for young driver fatal car crashes is 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's when most of you get out of work, school, community college, wherever you're going. So you got to really be careful during this time. Over 80% of young driver fatal car crashes occur during what type of weather conditions? Fair weather conditions. So this says that during fair weather times, you're speeding, not paying attention, you might run a light, you might check your phone, and then someone runs a light and they hit you. Next, which of the following 2 days of the week are the most dangerous for young fatal car crashes? This is Friday and Saturday. People get paid, they're drinking, they're hiked. So you as a driver got to really be careful. Next, the percentage of young driver males involved in fatal crashes is higher than female drivers, because young men, it's almost even out. Young men tend to drive faster, more aggressive, but as of lately, females are starting to drive those faster cars too. But for the test, young men. Next, which of the following self-imposed anxiety related to aggressive driving? I'm going to be late if I don't hurry up. So a lot of people say to themselves, man, I'm late. And then you start driving really fast. You start running lights. You're like, I don't care. I got 3 more lights. If I can make 2 lights and stop at 1, I'm going to be there. And then that 3rd light, you run, you hit someone, and then you're like, man, it wasn't even worth it. Research indicates that a young driver's brain is not fully developed until what age? This is 25. You think about this. If you're 16, 26, my brain's developed, bro. If you're 17, 27, my brain's developed, bro. But everyone's a little bit different. So your brain is still developing 25 years old. So the first 10 years, you got to learn how to drive good, have good speed control, be a defensive driver. You're going to take your little brother or sister who's in elementary to school, because you're going to be older now, and your mom and dad like, we got you a car. The least you can do is take them and pick them up. You're like, I got to get to work at 5. So you do it, and then you end up speeding. So mom and dad, if I get a ticket, it's your fault. No, honey, it's your fault, because you should be driving safely, but you set me up for failure. We'll talk about that. For every 500 miles driven, the average driver at least has 1 near collision. You almost sideswipe someone, rear end someone, blow a light, don't check left, right, left. It happens to all of us. No one is perfect. Research indicates that blank accounts for the largest percentage of young driver fatal car crashes. This is errors and inexperience. You're still learning, and it takes time. You haven't been through all weather conditions. Next, if you must leave the roadway at a high rate of speed, you should search for an open space. Never hit a tree, never hit a car, try to sideswipe Which of the following is not a principle for controlling the consequences of a vehicle crash? Hitting an approaching vehicle rather than a stationary object. The largest single category error for young drivers that leads to a crash is improper visual search. You look to the left, but you didn't look to the right. Or you check your left blind spot, you didn't check your right, you just caught off a truck. You are traveling on a 2-lane road and an oncoming driver drifts into your lane and is headed straight for you, which is a good rule of thumb to remember. You can almost always miss an object quicker than you can stop. Next, you're about to be struck from behind at a stop sign. You should release the brake. If you decide to leave the roadway to avoid hazards or an emergency, you should keep in mind that you may be unable to enter the roadway again. What's up, Jay? How you doing? Stay on a minute. I got you. Next, taking 2 or more drugs together increases the effects. It's also called synergy. You might have that on the quiz, so I'm just letting you know. You might want to put a little star check by that. The first principle of controlling a consequence in a crash is to avoid a head-on crash. Head-on crashes are the most dangerous. Hold on one second here. Crumple zones in a vehicle help reduce the force of a crash into a solid object. There are 4 crumple zones: left side front, right side front, rear side left, rear side right. No problem. We'll do it. On average, how many drinks will alcohol start to affect a person's ability to drive? It is the first drink. Straddling the center of the lane marker, driving too slow, drifting into the lane are common signs that a person has been drinking. I'm gonna go to 40. Inertia is the main reason that safety belts are important. When a vehicle hits a fixed object like a tree, what is the most important factor in determining how hard it hits the tree? It is the speed of the vehicle. Rubbernecking. This is rubbernecking. You see a crash. You see someone walking. You're not paying attention. It's a natural thing to do. Rubbernecking is a term used to describe a person who is maintaining eye contact with that crash scene. So make sure you put a check mark by that. The danger of a driver using marijuana is that, let me flip my book, please. It lessens the ability to maintain your vehicle in the lane. Also, marijuana is a gateway drug that leads to other drugs. If you smoke cigarettes, then marijuana, then you're taking other types of pills. So remember, marijuana can be a gateway drug. The reason we're discussing this because in segment 2, across the country, they talk about alcohol, drug awareness, safety awareness. You need to know because the people at our Capitol said, hey, these things are important, and we discussed them. The best time to address a distraction that can affect driving is before driving begins, and the driver's goal should be to eliminate. Tell your friends to be quiet. Don't tell your mom and dad. Tell your friends to be quiet. Mom, you can say, Mom, can you pay Mom, I'm trying to drive. Don't say anything else. You're going to have problems. To reduce distractions while driving before putting the vehicle in motion, you should secure all loose items, your backpack, your stuff, your food, your coffee, whatever. Secure those things because if you stop hard, that stuff is going to fly forward. Aggressive driving is driving a vehicle in a selfish, bold, or pushy way. You're not letting someone merge in. You're closing the gap. You're slamming brakes. Talking on the cell phone while driving makes you as impaired as a drunk driver with a BAC of 0.08. Please remember that. Put a star check by that. For young drivers, the problem being distracted is made worse by the simple fact of lack of experience. So we had two questions about lack of experience. Your brain is not developed to age 25. You got a lot of things against you right now. And some people are way more distracted. Some people are way more immature. It might take you to 30. So you got to really stay focused. For 16-year-old drivers, the risk of a fatal car crash involvement increases by 150% if 3 or more passengers in the car. So the more people you have in the car, the more likely you are to crash. Please put a star check by that. Self-imposed anxieties are related to aggressive driving. If you're late, I'm late to the photo shoot. I'm late to the brand deal. I'm late to my first day working. I forgot to pick up my little sister. She's waiting. Mom is texting me. I'm not going to answer. I got to go fast to get there. Your sister was texting me for the last 22 minutes. You're late. The first thing to do if a vehicle in front of you signals or flashes its brakes is to slow down. Constant rushing, lane jumping, ignoring certain road signs and regulations is called rush-in. Constantly ridiculing, criticizing other drivers to self and passengers, closing the gap, denying entry is called total aggression. Don't respond, don't engage, and choose to be tolerant is a formula for dealing with anger. I need all of you to type in 3 things you learned. All of you type in 3 things you learned. I did 40. I climbed a mountain. We finishing this. Type in 3 things you learned. I'll mute myself for a moment. So, we're going over this test review. I think it's all important that all of you continue to learn and give the best you can. And it's important that you continue to ask questions. You heard some of the things your brain does develop to age 25. 2 to 5 is the most dangerous time to drive. Road rage is common. The best advice I can give, leave early. Get more rest. I think what is helping me this last 6 months, last year, I'm getting more rest. I'm able to wake up more refreshed, even though I'm still dealing with traffic and road rage and cutoffs and tailgaters. I'm more tolerant, so I feel more refreshed. You might be able to tell I'm a little bit more perky. I'm drinking more water, trying to stay hydrated. I do get cramps in my legs sometimes. You got to drink a lot of water. Also, for Christmas, we got a treadmill, so I'm, using that. You got to keep working to get better. And if you don't have a car, you're going to have to share with your mom and dad. And sometimes that can be rough because your parents are like, you're not messing up my car, right? You're not messing up my stuff. And some parents, like, my dad didn't let me use his car. I had to buy my own. And then, I never really drove his car. I drove my own. My mother didn't drive. So I'm telling you real stuff. So she was relying on dad. And then I had to take her to work and pick her up. When I'm going to do say no. Even though I had my own car, right? And then when I got my first job out of college, after I tried out for the NFL, she paid off my car loan. So now you got to help your mom, Honey, I need you to pick me up at, she worked midnights. You need to pick me up 7:30 in the morning, right? Yeah, thank you. She worked 7:30 in the morning, downtown metro area. I will leave it 7. Try to drive really for, you're late. I appreciate you. You're late. I woke up late. I told her that a couple times. She's like, you don't be late. I'm here waiting. I don't want to be left alone. So watch the videos. I'll go live after this class is over. Thanks, guys.